Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Chris here. In today's video, we're going to try and make a beat using only the Microkorg and see what we come up with. So we're on this side of the table. It's been a minute since we've set up here, but we are at the Microkorg. Bam. So this synthesizer, Microkorg, very popular keyboard, very affordable one at that. It's mainly, it has this knob here where you pick a style of music. You've got 8 patches and then an A and a B side, so you actually have double, so you got 16 on each style of music. Super easy to work around. You've got kind of 5 preset knobs up here. You've got a cutoff, resonance, attack, release, and tempo. But yeah, so I'm hoping I can get all of the sounds I need out of this. We're gonna see how we do. I'm gonna try make everything in this song out of sounds from this, including the drums. I know that's going to be quite tricky from this, but what I'm going to start by doing is just let Ableton record, and I'm just going to record some one-shots, maybe some sounds I can use to compile some drums, maybe some sound effects, stuff like that, and then we'll just use all the patches in this and see what we can come up with. And now for a nice compilation of me just getting sounds together. Oh yeah. I think we found our snare. I should quickly mention on my MIDI keyboard here, I've actually mapped some MIDI functions from this onto there, because to actually make any changes in this, besides having these couple of controls up here, you have this huge matrix that you have to pick what you want to change and then go, and it's a whole faff. So actually I've just having mapped a couple of controls on that keyboard will make my process a bit quicker with this, but otherwise I'm just going to try do everything on this. We'll see how it goes. Back to sampling. Okay, I think that's about as much as I'm going to get from any drum samples in this thing. So I'm just going to quickly compile all those sounds together and then make a song. And lest we forget, I actually need something that sounds relatively like a kick. So let's find a bit of a bassy patch. Maybe this. I'm going to have to play with the envelope a bit. And so to avoid doing that, I'm going to do it on the MIDI keyboard. Okay, a bit better. Ooh, nice. All right, let's record that. Let's try the same thing on a different patch, just so I know I've got some flavors. Okay, one more. All right, I think that's everything we need. I'm just gonna chop up these drums and try and make a little pattern. Okay, so I've made the beat, put a little something together. It's turning out to be a little bit on the electronic side, so I'm wondering where it's going to take us when we actually introduce some proper sounds into it. But from the collection I've got, this is what we have put out. Yeah. If I didn't have to play more stuff, I would move the camera, but for the sake of time, we're just going to go screen for this. Basically, we've taken this as one of the kicks, and also just running a bit through the plugins. A lot of drum bus has been utilized. It's doing some awesome stuff, and as well as some transient envelope. So let's quickly dive into that. So this is the kick that we've got. I'm going to turn off all the stuff. Not too much going on. I'm going to turn it up just so you can hear it. Nice little subby thing. I've put that in mono because a lot of the sounds on here are stereo, so I'm just keeping it very centered. And then with drum bus, and this is what we've got. A lot more punch coming through on that. I've also taken another one of the hits and just filtered off the low end, made it mono, and that's kind of our top end click. So together you have this. Very solid kick. The snare I was struggling with a bit, so I ended up layering a couple of things. We're layering a bit of white noise that I filtered with an envelope. We've got the secondary kind of more darker white noise. It's a bit more stereo, doing some accent stuff as well as just being a layer. And then the third is just a tone, more of a synthy sound, just tucked underneath to give it a bit more of a, I guess, snare sound. So snare 1, slapped some reverb on there just to give it a bit of a tail. And the drum bus. Then we have snare 2. And then snare 3. Literally just a synth sound. But when you put them all together, that's our snare sound. Then we have this, which is more of a percussive loop. I was thinking of making it the hi-hat at first, and then I ended up opting for something else, but it's more like a percussive loop that we're using in there. And then lastly, we've got our hi-hat. This I was actually surprised at how hi-hatty it ended up sounding. Great, and with the use of this drum bus, it really helped tighten that up. Gave it a bit more attack. Sounding awesome, digging that. So I've also got some crashes which I'm not using at the minute just for the sake of creating this loop, but we've got this crash. Nice little crash, and then we've got this riser. Just the same, but without the reverb and a bit shorter. Now that I'm remembering, there was a sound that I wanted to utilize in here, which was this. This would make a great riser. Let's stick it at the end of here. Bam. Give it a little fade. Let's see what we got. Boom. And there you have it. So with that in mind, let's make some music. All right, that's a good start. I'm just gonna saturate that bad boy. Okay, so bass complete. I've just put a little bit of saturation, EQ. I've also slightly changed the kick pattern just to help it blend a bit more with the bass line. Now let's add some pads. All right, let's find something else to add. Also, I might just find a more sustained bass. Just to give it a bit less rhythm in the bass, have the rhythm come from the drums. We'll see, we're experimenting here. That's quite nice, but I might filter it afterwards. So I'm trying to be a little bit efficient about this. So as I'm going through, I'm playing with the arrangement, putting in some plugins, making it sound a little bit more finessed. We're getting there. Slowly we're building up this song. This is where we're at so far. So far, that's where we're at. So making good progress, starting to actually have a little bit of an arrangement going on. I think I'll save that more busy bass line for this next section where it becomes a bit more, comes down, you know, just a bit more of a drop kind of vibe. So we'll see. That snare is blazingly loud right now, so I do need to turn that down. But otherwise, I think we can hunt for a few more layers in this thing. So far, I'm enjoying the process. I was a bit skeptical at first, but so far I'm digging it. So let's find a few more sounds and see where it takes us. That's quite nice. Golly, time is flying by. So the track is done in terms of arrangement and length. Now the question is whether or not we add any more little extra bits whilst I'm here. Just to fill you in on what I've added, I've taken a couple of the samples that we already recorded in the beginning of this sample hunt, I guess, and I've made some interesting things of stuff like this, for example. It's quite a fun little sound. That's using a combination of this auto pan that I'm using as a tremolo, getting some distortion out of both of these erosions and this pedal. I mean, without it, it just sounds like this. Interesting sound on its own, but I wanted it to be just a bit more janky, a little bit more stuttery, and so that auto pan does help with that. And I've also automated that a couple of times just to give me some different type of, I don't know, sound, I guess. Also using that as a riser at one point. We've done a lot of automation, especially on the bass, we've got this section where it kind of drops down. Got some cool little squibs and squabs going on there, which is very nice. But then mainly just a lot of arrangement stuff. The song's just under 3 minutes, so I don't really want to push it any further in terms of length. I might just have another quick little dig through this just to see if there's anything that we could add, just to give me one more flavor in there, and then we'll probably call it there. This is quite a cool sound. But that delay... Oh, so it's here. Let's see if we can get it to match. Close enough for me. Alright, let's put this in. Okay, sweet. We've put that in. I made a little riser from it. Sounds a little something like this. Very nice. So it adds a nice little element, and I think with that, I'm pretty happy with this track. I tell you what, I was surprised how far the synth came. Maybe not the direction of music I was thinking of making with it, but there we are, making some electronic music. Super cool, had a fun time. I think next I would love to try that CS. It's a different vibe to this. You can get some super lush tones from it. This is given a lot of very nostalgic vibes. The sounds are very squealy and yeah, quite interesting. There is some lovely patches in this that I would love to use. In one particular, one of my favorite ones is this. Or this one, also a classic. Super nice. And you know, you can get some super interesting sounds from it. As you can see, you can just get away with making a song using just this synth. It's a good old tool. This is probably one of the oldest synths I've had. I've had it for more than 10 years for sure. And I get great use out of it. Let's flip over to this side. And we're back on this side of the table. I wish that camera move was as simple as the edit, but here we are nonetheless on this side of the table. And that's it. Microkorg. There you have it. Fantastic little synth. I really rave about it. I've had it for ages now, and it's really sorted me out along the way. Great little synth for the price, can't complain. But there you have it, we've made our beat. If you want to hear it, I might post it on my SoundCloud or something. I'll leave the link below. And if it's not there, well, still figuring it out, I guess. But if you enjoyed this video, let us know in the comment section below. I'd love to know what you think about this concept or the Microkorg if you have one. I'd love to know what you guys think, but that's about it for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The support really helps, and I appreciate everyone who's done so far, so thank you very much. Once again, I've been Chris Vella, and I'll see you on the next one. Alright, so before I forget, these samples are going to be available for download in the description, so if you want them, go get them. Bye-bye.